Hello, everybody. I hope you're going well. Today, we will actually talk about how to defend yourself in chess. We will talk about the most effective defensive strategies in chess. So, I was thinking about how to actually propose you that, you know, show you all these ideas. But actually, I realized that there are two things that really matters in chess: luck and understanding of the game. Of course, I'm joking. There is a third thing, which is, of course, the human part of chess. Chess is is an all-inclusive game, which means that if you are playing against someone in a real chess tournament, you have to accept the fact that the guy is sitting next to you, that this guy will breathe, that this guy might, you know, walk past you, and doing some noises, and you have to accept all of that and still playing good chess, and that is not easy. But why are we humans? We are humans because it is what it is. We cannot argue with that. But what is the problem of humans when they play chess? They're just committing a lot of blunders, a lot of mistakes. The engines aren't. Which means that, let's say you're playing against someone, a human. It doesn't matter if it is online or over the board. If you play against a human and this guy next to you is a human and not an engine, he might have so-called feelings, start to feel scared, start to feel uncomfortable, and this is very normal. But we have to use that because chess is not only a platform game, it is also a strategical and emotional game. Now, how to protect yourself? Let's say that someone attacks you. E4, and in order to show you this idea, I will use an opening which is called the modern defense. So you will have the same type of console play and actually the same types of defensive ideas in every opening which you're getting attacked. D4, bishop D7, bishop D7, knight C3, D6, and bishop E3. Why bishop E3? The idea is to go queen D2 and castles queenside. Okay, A6. Why a6? Because when you go bishop e3, it means that you're developing this side of the board first. You know that the white king is going to go there. So a6. Okay, queen d2, b5, long castling. So, what is going on? It doesn't seem like that, but actually, but actually, black is getting attacked. And when I say black is getting attacked, I mean black is going to get destroyed if he's not paying attention. Everything here is weak. E5 is coming, D5 is coming, H5 is coming. We will see that. This F3, 97, H4. Now, if you do a random move, H5, and you're going to get wide open, and the position is going to be very difficult. So that's why you go H5. You're just blocking the one threat that white has. Now, H3, okay, let's say E6, knight G5. You know that everything, you see that everything is attacking you. Knight GF6, king B1. And now actually it's time for us to think a little bit. Do you see this position on the board? White is attacking the black king. How? By actually preparing, pawn pushes. He puts a knight on g5, he wants g4, he wants everything. This position is very difficult. And the reason why it's difficult is because we have to accept the fact that we cannot calculate everything. We cannot calculate everything for a good reason. There are billions of pieces on the board. So if we cannot calculate everything, we have to pay attention because each move can actually determine if you will lose or win that game, no matter what the position looks like. We don't want to get attacked. We don't want to castle there because g4 pawn sacrifice might happen and then everything will be wide open. Bishop g3, for example, castles, g4, and this is already a very difficult position. If you take the pawn over here, then actually even h5 is coming, and this is a very brutal position in which everything is already wide open, and we can just go cry. The engine says white is super duper winning, rook h4, c5, rook there, resign. Okay, that's good to know. So let's move back because the rooks are super duper active and it's not good looking. Queen h2 is coming with, rook sacrifice checkmate. But okay, it's not good. There is good and there is no good. This is not good. But this is just to show you a small example of what can happen if you're not paying attention. So what can we actually do? We actually have to be super duper active. So the best way to be active is just to prepare yourself of, opening up lines somewhere. And since our king is somehow getting attacked, we have to attack this king. So bishop d3, instead of castling, what should we do? Opening up this side of the board. Boom, we open up this side of the board. C5, D takes, and okay, knight takes, D takes. It doesn't really matter. Let's say knight takes, in order to keep this file open. You see that the position is already very difficult. Let's say bishop d4, trying to protect yourself. Boom, e5. We are just keeping stuff together. Now it's even more complicated to open up lines. We are just super duper active. Boom, b4, 92. Boom, we take a very strong piece for the attack, and then boom, we are just blast opening up the center. And it looks like it is easy, but actually it's not easy. Knight g3, boom, we can just opening up the center. Okay, g takes h5, e takes f3, everything is wide open. So you see that the game is already super duper complicated, and I showed you just some lazy moves because we just took a move to prepare something. Now let's try to be a little bit more precise than that. To protect yourself in chess, you have to wait until a pressure is coming. You cannot prepare, for each move g4. You know that g4 is going to arrive, so you have to do something so that g4 isn't that strong. You cannot prevent g4 because you're already preventing g4, but that isn't the problem. The problem is that you are not active enough, so that's why you have to open up lines on the other side of the board. I will show you something also very interesting. Let's say we do the same thing, rook c8, knight g5, c5, d5, queen a5. Okay, king b1. You see that now everything is again wide open. We can just opening up lines. Boom, b4, the knight goes away. Boom, c4, and we have already 2 pawns ready to attack the white king with pawn c4, the bishop on g7, the queen on a5, the rook on c8, the knight on c5. And you see that this is actually an even easier example to show you how fast an attack can actually be. Even if white goes 97, you can just go c3, you see, and the position is basically lost. I mean, when I say that it's lost, the engine says -4 plus black. So when the engine says -4, I would recommend you to trust this guy. This guy is just number one in the world. Let's say he takes, you can just take back, queen c1, for example. Okay, now we can of course just take the piece, but this is also checkmate. So this not good, not so good. Let's say instead of actually sacrificing the piece, we try to defend properly with queen e1, dealing with the fact that something's happening over here. Boom, bishop takes b2. Why? Because once we take, there is actually queen a3, queen a1, and you see, for example, queen takes e3, and we already won a pawn, even though we shouldn't have. In theory, we didn't have to. Of course, this is hanging, but opening up lines like that is not that serious and not that interesting, practically speaking. So let's go back. We can also just develop our pieces normally. If c3, we can just go b3, and notice how we are now having a very nice pawn on b3 attacking the king over here. Knight c1 is forced. But okay, the engine is already recommending knight d5 because the engine is actually a psychopath. Wow. Oh yeah, and this is lost because checkmate. So you have to go knight b3, but now queen b4. And you have to sacrifice your queen already. So you see that an attack can be very, very fast, and there is actually no rule on how to protect yourself. That's the main reason why it can sound, abstractive. But keep in mind that you're playing against humans which will always blunder. Always. It can be a small mistake or a tough mistake, but they will always do mistakes. So that's the main reason why you have to play the better moves. To play the better moves, you have to, of course, focus on everything, on king safety, on you can trade piece, you can you can put the pieces out of the board, you can even not play chess, you can work on tactics, you can do whatever you want, but you have to improve at chess. Just remember that you have to stay calm, assess the position objectively, and it's important to make moves that address the most pressing threats, like b5, c4, queen a5. These aren't, playing moves. We have to stay focused when we play chess. We have to find ideas, and to find ideas, you have to understand what is going on the board. If you have more questions about protecting yourself during a chess game, go in the comment section. Thank you very, very, very much for everything. See you in the future. Take care.